Today's topic of discussion is coconut inbred. So here in the UK right now, we are pretty much the third generation down which has fully integrated into westernized civilization. A lot of guys from the Pakistani community, Bangladeshi community, Asian community, African community, you name it, they've forgotten their traditional culture and their country of origin. So we're going to be discussing some key consequences of that and how these guys have become coconuts. So first point is westernized. Guys in today's society have become fully westernized. So we're the third generation down now. So guys from the 40s and 50s, they they had migrated from e.g. Pakistan. So let's say Pakistan, right? Guys came over in 50s, 60s and started working in factories. So when they were doing factory work, manual labor work, they were grinding it out and raising their families here and sending money back home. Now, as the generations have gone on now, these generations right now have forgotten the actual hardship and struggle it took to get into this country, to build a better life for themselves. So if you look at right now, today's generation, they don't see the hardship and graft it took to actually work and put in constant grind and effort into raising a family, raising your children, and having all these different responsibilities. A lot of these guys have been programmed with westernized agendas. So they'd be, let's say, partying, drinking, shisha, committing zina, you name it. They've become fully westernized and the sense of liberation. So with guys, right, they're just literally taking intoxicants, being bums. They're not trying to build their life. And then you've got the girl side of it, which they're mixing with all these different guys, going with boyfriends or having all these different haram relationships and so on. So both guys and girls. So I'm going to play a couple videos for you guys. Both of them are about 30 seconds long. And then you guys can have a watch of that.
Pakistani girlfriend's gonna guess if it's from India or Pakistan. Let's go. As always, we're starting off easy. Gandhi. Come on.
Okay, so you guys are back now. So if you see from that first video, when I saw that first video, right, of that Pakistani girl and how she's with another guy who's basically non-Muslim, and then they both got a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, that immediately, when I saw that was just completely disgusting. When I saw that, I was like, this is what it's come to right now. So we had, for example, the Pakistani community, which Pakistan, when it formed, right? It formed when there was a major war that took place, with Pakistanis and Indians. So it was originally called Hindustan, and that ended up splitting up into Pakistan, India, Bangladesh. Now, there's millions of lives, millions of people that were killed in that war to form Pakistan. And then when Pakistan was formed, then you had people that came over to the UK. So they had to go through all those hardships, all them sufferings, all them killings, all those innocent people that have died to raise scumbags like that, sket girls like that, to just go and sleep with non-Muslims. So myself, I'm not somebody to promote like hate or anything like that. So for guys who are watching this, they're thinking, oh yeah, what's wrong with that? Because I'm going to have viewers right now who are non-Muslim and they're not going to understand this. The thing is, right, in the Islamic faith, a Muslim girl can't get into a relationship with a guy who's non-Muslim. Do you understand? It's like a grave sin. Reason being is because what happens is when them two get together, right? They have a relationship. The guy's going to tend to lead in the relationship. And then guess what's going to happen after that? They're going to have kids. And then when they have kids, them kids are going to become non-Muslim. Do you understand? So then those kids there, they're going to be getting programmed with westernized ideologies. So like smoking, drinking, you name it. This is what's happening right now in today's generations. People don't know their country of origin. They don't have no traditional values. They have no traditional ethics. They have none of that. And they think that, oh yeah, if we can just mix with these people here and, we'll somehow be accepted. You'll never be accepted by this community here. The English people will never accept you guys because you guys' skin color is different. Okay, this is what it is. So people need to start clocking on, right, that you need to have your Islamic faith, which is your core and foundation, and then you can have, for example, the cultural side of it as well. But when you end up destroying that, and then you decide, oh, okay, let me just sleep around with guys who are basically kafir, innit? Kafir, innit? There's no other word to describe it. This creates major problems. So the kids, right? Kids, they have no sense of identity. And that's what I'm seeing right now with today's generation. I've seen certain guys, right, who have been raised in households with, let's say, the mum, which is a Muslim mum, and then you've got the dad who's non-Muslim. Them kids, when you speak to them, there's a lot of them kids who are just lost. They don't know what their country of origin is. They don't know what their religion is. They're just people who are just completely westernized. Now, this doesn't just apply to those couples there. There's certain Pakistani couples. So let's say mum and dad, both Pakistani. You've got kids who are just going out, drinking and partying, shisha, and driving, flipping rentals and stunting in rentals. This is what the older generations died for. To raise scumbags like this. It's just sickening. There's no other way to describe it. Yeah, so this video is probably going to be a bit too raw for a lot of guys. A lot of people are going to be like, oh yeah, this guy is just crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about, this and that. I'm saying stuff which people are too afraid to say. That's what it is. But I don't care. The fact is, right, I'm seeing right now, these guys who are Pakistani F-boys, clowns, going around, running around, and thinking that, oh yeah, if we stunt in rentals and flex in flipping shisha cafes, then we're gonna flipping do well in life. Trust me, these lots' time is coming. They're gonna end up suffering the consequences of that. So when they get a flipping escort type girl pregnant, they end up gonna have waste man kids after that. So that's what's happening right now. A lot of guys, they're lost. They have no sense of identity anymore. That's even right now, with this generation right now, a lot of them can't even speak their flipping home language. So let's say, Pakistani community, the main two languages that are spoken is, Urdu and Punjabi. A lot of the kids right now, they can't even speak either. They only know English. But that's besides the point. The fact is, right, these people here have lost their religion. That's the most important thing. The deen. The deen has been compromised. Deen's been compromised right now because these people here think it's okay to get into haram relationships with non-Muslims. So that leads us to the next point when it comes to racism. These guys here are quick to throw the racism card. Now, I'm not somebody to ever promote racism. Do you understand? Like myself, I've spoken to numerous different girls over the years for marriage purposes from all different ethnicities. Do you understand? Like different skin colors. So some guys maybe think, oh yeah, you might not like, whites and black girls. I've had, for example, black girls that I've spoken to for marriage purposes. We wasn't compatible for reasons that were related to the deen. So myself, let's say, I want somebody who prays 5 times a day. I want somebody who's been raised with traditional values and so on. And then certain girls, they didn't tick that criteria. You understand? So this ain't a race thing. I'm not trying to come at it from a race thing. I'm not a type of guy to be like, oh yeah, if you're Pakistani, you should only marry a Pakistani guy, or vice versa. So a Pakistani girl should marry a Pakistani guy only. Yeah, there's benefits of that. And it's going to come certain times with more pros than cons. Because obviously, cultural background is important. You understand? But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact is, right, these guys here are literally fornicating with each other, with people who are not even in the same religion. That's a fundamental belief breakdown. So based off of a compatibility perspective, when your values and beliefs do not align, that's going to create proper destruction for the generations to come. That's going to mess up a lot of things. So that couple right there you saw from the beginning. So I played them 2 videos there. So you got the first couple, which, Pakistani guy, Pakistani girl with some flipping, I don't know what ethnicity that guy is, black guy, isn't it? Yeah. And then you got flipping the second video, which was that woman with another guy, and then the face is getting covered of the guy. No shame whatsoever. It's usually the other way around, where the woman covers herself and then you got the guy who's showing his face. But that's right now, we got the Daif pandemic. Alongside that, we got Muslim guys and Muslim girls fornicating with non-Muslims. That's the society right now that we're living in. It's just dark times ahead, literally. All I see is a bunch of lost people. So with that couple, right, the first couple there, that guy and that girl, that video that I played to you guys, I'm telling you, that was the least sexual video that I saw on there. If you look at all their other videos on there, it's completely sexual. It's completely filthy. Now, what sort of Pakistani community, what sort of Pakistani family has she been raised in? No values and ethics whatsoever. Mum and dad is just raised a waste girl with no values and respect. And this is what the older generations feared as well. Because I remember hearing certain stories, right, even when I was younger, where let's say a Pakistani girl, you hear about a Pakistani girl goes with a guy who's from another ethnicity or another background or whatever the case was. And let's say he was non-Muslim. So he went with like a Gora or he went with a Kala. Yeah, them stories there, I'd hear about it. And that would create big tension within the community. Yeah, that family there would get outcasted. No, but that's what happens with these people. These people here, they don't care about their family. They don't care about the community. They don't care about none of that. Now, as I said, there's a correct way to go about things for marriage. Let's say you want to marry somebody from another ethnicity, another community. You should be going based off of compatibility, based off of the deen, based off of Islamic values. So if you're both practicing Muslims, then you should both get together and both get married. Because Islamically, that's permissible. But these lot here, right, you got that Pakistani girl with a guy who's not Muslim. And then they're both having a haram relationship. And they're both like, I think like fiancé right now. They're both, engaged. That's going to create serious problems for the rest of the communities. A lot of Pakistani girls are looking at that and they're going to be justifying that and thinking that's okay because they've seen other scumbag influencers. Now, when I saw some of their videos, right, some of their videos are gotten like hundreds of millions of views. One video has gotten 100 million views. I look at my videos like, The most I've gotten is like flipping, I think 160k on Instagram, 170k, something like that. These lot here are getting millions and millions of views. What does that tell you? The system's pushing those agendas for Muslim girls to get corrupted by Muslim guys. I mean non-Muslim guys. So Muslim girls going with non-Muslims. That's what the system wants. Now this is what it is. This is why society is breaking down from a fundamental level. When it goes back to values and beliefs. Values and beliefs is really, really important. And I bet you anything, God's curse is upon that couple there, 1,000,000%, because of all of their sexualized, dirty videos. And then they're pushing that to other people. And then youngsters are seeing that and they're thinking that's okay. And then that sin's gonna land on them as well. You know, so they're just gonna be their sins are gonna be getting multiplied like crazy. So next point is zina. That's the society we're living in right now. We're living in a society where zina is made publicly. So you got that couple right now, they're both committing zina publicly. Both comfortable doing it in front of the camera. No shame whatsoever. No standards, no class, no integrity, nothing. You know, God's curses upon people like that. You know, so if you was to do, let's say, a sin, fornication, and if you was to keep it behind closed doors, that's a flipping grave sin in and of itself. But for you to actually go out your way and make it public, these people here are of the hellfire. God will not want to look at these kind of people here, because these people here expose their sins to the public, expose the sins to other people in society. They're going to be in amongst the lowest people in hellfire. Now this is what the problem is. The problem is right now, men and women, they're just completely lost. They don't have no values whatsoever anymore. So final point is offspring. That's what happens with couples like that. They end up creating degenerate offspring. So you see that couple right there, right? As soon as they have kids, them kids are going to be lost as well. They're going to have no identity, no cultural background, nothing. They're not going to know where they've come from, what their religion is, none of that. Just completely lost individuals. And then they're likely to turn out to be non-Muslim as well as a result of it. You know, because the guy, for example, is non-Muslim, he's with a girl who's Muslim, which certain times the girl ends up leaving her religion after that as well. That's if she hasn't already left it. And then it has a ripple effect. You know, so this is what's happening right now. A bunch of guys and a bunch of girls, they're just coconuts. Yeah, people are too afraid to say it, but I'll say it anyway, because you know what I'm saying. This is the reality of it. Guys and girls have become coconuts. They don't even know what their ethnicity is. They don't even know what their skin color is. You know, they think that they're English. They think that they're British. As I said, you guys are never going to be accepted by English guys, by white guys. You know, so I'm telling you, I don't even know what to say. The fact is, right, these people here, God's curse is upon them. That's what the reality is. So what I'm seeing right now in society, I don't see any hope for these kind of people. I honestly don't. You know, because it's just getting worse and worse. Generation to generation to generation. It's getting worse. There's no two ways around it. So, just to wrap up, Westernized. Right now in today's society, we're the third generation down, which has become fully integrated into Western society. a lot of guys and girls, they're getting into, let's say, haram relationships, fornicating with each other, drinking, smoking, shisha, chasing after girls, stunting with rentals, running to the barbershop every week. They don't know what the skin color is. They look at their skin color on the outside, it's brown, but on the inside it's white. That's what it is. You know, this is what the level of losers there are in today's society. People think that their skin color on the outside is white when their flipping skin color is brown. You know, this is what it is. It goes back to it. If you're not somebody who has a solid foundation and a solid core, what your identity is, you're always going to be lost in life. That's why a lot of these guys, they ain't got no purpose, they ain't got no mission. They're just complete losers. You know, so whatever ethnicity that you've been born with, whether it's white, brown, black, as I said, this ain't to do with race. You know, it's the fact is, right, it goes back to having a strong foundation in your religion. So over here we promote the deen and traditional moral values. Do you understand? So when guys are becoming corrupted and westernized, and they're thinking that, oh, we need to mix with English guys, we need to run to the flipping pubs, we need to start drinking with them and, you know, drink alcohol with them and so on, in order to fit in, that's what the problem is. That's the type of guys I'm talking about. Yeah, so these kind of guys here, these people here, they're going to be literally misled in life. They're going to have no backbone, no principles, no boundaries, nothing. A guy with solid principles and boundaries, you ain't going to compromise them based off of westernized ideologies. So next point after that was racism. These people here, they're quick to throw the racism card. You know, they'll turn around and say, oh, their family's racist, or, you know, the community is racist, this and that. You know, so for example, you got that, let's say, degenerate couple. The guy is going to turn around and say to the girl, oh, your community is racist, or Pakistanis are racist, this and that. It's like, no, you're just a scumbag who's just literally fornicating with Muslim girls. Yeah, you think that would be justified with the previous generations as well, or justified to God for you to fornicate with a Muslim girl? You know, myself as well, I don't actively, you know, speak to girls who are non-Muslim and try and, you know, move to them and link up with them and do haram relationships. You know, I look at it based off of compatibility, based off of, you know, seeing a girl and speaking to her for marriage purposes. You know, but these guys here, they have a sick mindset where they've been watching too much X-rated content, X-rated filth on the internet, and they've got a certain type. So I remember back in school days as well, certain guys, they would say, oh yeah, I'm into Latino girls, or I'm into a certain set of girls, certain type. Reason being is because they've been exposed to sexualized, dirty, filthy content. You know, but these are the people who are going to fall around and say, oh yes, racism, this and that. It ain't racism. Because the fact is, right, there's a correct way to go about it. So as I said to you guys in the previous videos, yeah, you have a marriage checklist. Yeah, so if you're open to, let's say, other ethnicities, you should be doing it for marriage purposes, speaking to a man or a woman for marriage purposes. You know, you should be getting into these fornication type relationships and then putting that shit on camera. Yeah, so that's what's happening with these guys. They're putting that on camera. So next point after that was zina. These people here, they've hit a new level right now. They put zina out on a camera, put it out on a public display of affection. You know, in the Muslim countries, that's prohibited. So in, for example, when the World Cup was taking place in Qatar, these English guys and these people here, right, who are non-Muslim, they started complaining when they started running over there. And they were like, oh yeah, we can't drink over here, we can't smoke, we can't flip in, throw this rainbow flag around. They started complaining. They started saying, oh yeah, we can't, kiss our partner, this and that. They started saying, oh yeah, they're homophobic. It's like, nah. Each country has got their own set of rules, own set of legislations. They have a certain religion, and so on. But here in UK, Christianity's died. We're not living in a Christian country anymore. Yeah, this country here, right? Majority of people are either flipping atheist, agnostic, Muslim, and flipping small percentage of Christians left. I don't even hear that anymore. Like hardly anybody says in today's generation. I'm talking about the third generation down. Forget about the older generations. They're going to be passing away soon anyway. They're going to be getting old. We're talking about guys in their 20s and 30s. A lot of them, they're not even saying that they're Christian anymore. So churches right now here in the UK, they get shut down, get converted into masjids. This is what's happening. Pubs are getting shut down, they're getting converted into masjids, they're getting converted into mosques. People are just getting pissed off. So that's why certain guys, English guys, certain times I speak to them at work, for example. Shout out to like Joe and Ben. We have these topic of discussions certain times. And they're angry with it as well. Like they've let in, for example, too many foreigners from all these different countries. It's gotten to the point where it's just overflooded, this country here. Too much diversification. Too many ethnicities all mixed together. English culture, there is no English culture. There is no British culture. It's died. So that's what's happening right now. We're raised right now in a society where there's a bunch of coconuts. A bunch of people who are just lost. No identity whatsoever. So final point was offspring. That's the result of today's society. A bunch of people who have no values, ethics, religion, you name it. These people, they are just coconuts. And then they're wondering why their relationships are failing. So with that couple there, right there, you'll see them, I bet you any money, yeah, when they end up getting, let's say, married, government marriage, because that's what they're going to do, government marriage. They're not going to do a nikah, standard nikah, because they don't care about none of that. You'll do government marriage, and you'll see how that relationship deteriorates. It's because they didn't do it the correct way. They didn't have the blessings of God. Because all religions, all major religions, they all promote traditional moral values. So no fornication, no sleeping around outside of marriage, and not promoting that on social media. But these people here, they're crossing the boundaries, they're crossing the red lines, they're happily pushing that filth on the internet, and then the other generations are getting corrupted by that as well. Guys and girls, they're being raised in that. So even from like the school system, guys and girls, let's say Muslim girls, Muslim guys, they're getting into haram relationships with non-Muslims. This is a common issue right now. And then when, for example, the parents find out about it, some of the parents are flipping completely coconut, Westernised. They don't give a damn. They're like, oh yeah, she can just do whatever, sleep around with whoever. Gora, Gala, flipping, you name it. Non-Muslims, whatever. But as I said, I'm not trying to be, before people start getting on to me in the comments saying, oh, Omar's racist, this and that. As I said, I ain't racist. I'm talking about it from a based off of Islamic perspective, where both couples need to be married and they both need to be Muslim. If one of them is non-Muslim, that creates problems. And from the deen side of it, the deen is against marrying outside into non-Muslims. So if you've got a problem with that, then you've got a problem with the deen, isn't it? So this is what it is. Look, this video here, as I said, this one here was a bit different. As I said, I don't want people to get confused and think, oh, Omar's trying to promote hate over here and he's just trying to promote this and that. As I said, look, the point of this video was to specifically talk about guys and girls who have become westernized, who have become coconuts, where their skin on the outside is black and brown. So black people, brown people, but on the inside they're English, they're white. That's what the problem is. And there's a bunch of them in today's society. They've lost their values from their home countries and they have no ethics. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.